If you don't mind my asking, miss, how many are there in your household? Only my aunt and I. Oh, only 2 ladies. Yes, we keep a cook, a French gentleman, but no other servants. Miss Hinecourt looked up sharply. I never met a Frenchman before. He is elderly and not very sociable, Vita said, but his food is most acceptable. I never tasted French food either, said Tabitha. It would be fancy, I suppose. My aunt's guests vie for an invitation. Will you come to us this afternoon? Yes, but, miss, there is one thing. Tabitha began to say something, but Vita was distracted by the bells of Great St. Mary's chiming the half-hour, reminding her of her first aid class. She handed Tabitha one of her aunt's cards. Come this afternoon at 2 o'clock, and my aunt will speak to you, Vita said, and hurried off towards the church hall, which was a good 20 minutes' brisk walk away. Tabitha frowned briefly and read the card before tucking it into her apron pocket and following another customer back into Meek's. Behind the long mahogany counter, where bolts of fabric were spread and measured, Mr. and Mrs. Meeks watched this encounter with keen interest. She'd better not ask too many questions, Mr. Meeks murmured to his wife. They always spoke in low tones in the shop to avoid the staff overhearing. They can be very dozy, the academic people around here, said his wife. They'd forget their own heads if they weren't screwed on. Not practical, heads in the clouds. They'd trust anybody. She's not a bad girl, I suppose, said her husband. She's a liar. I don't believe a word she says. I want her gone. Isn't it our duty to tell? Tell the new employer, I mean. Duty? Our duty is to keep our family by running this shop. No lady would shop here if they knew we employed that sort. When she returned, Tabitha hurried across the shop floor and let herself into the back room where she had been folding offcuts, out of sight of the public. The dim storeroom was 3 steps down from the polished mahogany counters and glass-fronted display cases that the public saw. Mrs. Meeks came to find her. Well, did she offer you a position? She asked, looking over Tabitha's shoulder to inspect her work. I am to go and meet the mistress of the house this afternoon. Did you mention your reason for leaving? I said I did not speak in the ladylike way that was expected. Mrs. Meeks pursed her lips. Her busy hands straightened the pile of offcuts. That is true. Did you mention the other matter? No, Tabitha said. I meant to, but the lady hurried off. It is my duty to inform another employer, if you do not, Mrs. Meeks told her sharply. There is the reputation of the shop to consider. Mrs. Meeks did not look at the girl directly. She reached a pile of paper bags from a shelf nearby. You were deceitful, Tabitha. It is not what we expected of you. I shall have to tell her myself if you do not. A tiny bell rang, summoning Mrs. Meeks to a customer. She smoothed her apron and, adding a professional smile of greeting to her face, stepped back up into the shop.